Alrighty, how we doing, guys? We've got a brand new artist, who probably most of you, but I think you recognize a lot of his work, and that's Aaron Bartling. Aaron, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on. So yeah, I've been doing art for the past 10 years or so, but I only recently kind of started working professionally in the last 2 years. I was working with bands, specifically like metal bands, and that was I was doing like album art, T-shirts, logos, all that kind of stuff. And I just decided I wanted to take a different direction with my illustration career, and so I did a lot of researching and exploration into what other kind of fields I could go into with illustration, and I felt like doing cover work in the comic industry would be probably suit me the best. And so I ended up pursuing it, and now I've been doing published work for the last 2 years. So yeah, it's been awesome, and I love what I do. So
I'd say it turned out pretty well.
Thank you, man. No, it's honestly like I can't thank all the fans and supporters that I have. Like it's literally all like thanks to them for really kind of helping me get so much exposure and blowing me up like the way they have. So
Okay.
It's been amazing.
So I have a question for you because I didn't realize that your whole starting off point was in the music industry. So when you go approach like a cover for a comic nowadays, do you kind of approach it like sometimes like you would for like cover art on a record?
So typically it's a little bit different, not too much, but typically what'll happen is, and it's fairly straightforward. Like a retailer will reach out to me, or a publisher, and they'll present a project to me. And before, when I was first starting out, I was kind of taking like every project that came my way, and it's actually a huge blessing now, like in the sense of like being super busy, where now I can kind of pick and choose what I want to work on.
Yeah.
So sometimes people present me stuff, and if I'm not really feeling it, or I don't think it would be a good suit for me, then I might pass on it. But yeah, so they'll just present the project to me. I'll ask typically for like the PDF or any kind of information. Who are these characters? What's the book about?
Sure.
What's the premise?
Sure.
That kind of thing. And then if I think it sounds cool and exciting, then usually I'll say, yeah, put in an approval. And then so the retailer will then reach out to the publisher. So for example, if retailer reach out about an image book, and I say yes, then they'd reach out to Image and say, hey, we want to request Aaron Bartling on this book. And then Image either approves it or denies it. Thank God I've never been denied, so that's cool.
Okay.
But yeah, so they'll approve it, and then they'll get back to me and say, okay, we got the green light, we're good to go. Let's get started. And then and they'll give me the deadline too. So kind of before anything even starts, before they'll even reach out to Image,
Right.
they'll ask, like, can you meet this deadline? And if I have other projects I'm working on, then sometimes I'll have to, if I'm not feeling it, or I'm just too busy at the time, then I'll say like, I'll have to pass. But yeah, it varies. But anyway, so then I'll start the cover, and then try to always make sure that I meet my deadlines, and that's kind of how it all goes. So it's pretty. And then like when I was working with bands, it's almost the exact same thing, except you're taking out the publisher, because I'm working directly with the band.
Yeah.
So there's not that like middleman of communication. So it's just they tell me what they want, and then I would do it, and that was it. So
Awesome.
but no, but I enjoy the comic process. It's fun. So
So were you a comic fan before you got into it even too? Like,
to be totally honest and transparent, I always have thought comics were cool, but I never really was like a collector, you know, and I wasn't like hardcore into. I've never been one that really enjoys reading.
Okay.
Mhm.
And it's funny because it's like I feel like until I started working in comics and I saw just how cool they really are, you know, and that like having a book, you know, with a story, but then having a visual representation of what's going on. Like I was like, man, this is. I don't know why I didn't get into this when I was younger, you know, when I
Yeah.
was a kid or whatever.
Sure.
And I think it's because you know I wasn't. You know, in school, I wasn't the best student, and you know, I hated reading, and I think maybe that's why it was kind of even the thought of reading was kind of a turnoff, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and so once I got older and I realized how, and I got into this industry and seeing how cool comics are, I was like, man, I regret all that time, you know, missing out on it. So, but
So,
yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. What are you about to start working on there? I know the last piece you just finished up there, you were signing a book that I won in an auction. You were signing a We Live
Yep.
cover that you did from one of the Comic Cons. A beautiful, beautiful piece. And now you're going to be doing is it a remark or just a signature on this one?
Yeah, I'm doing I did a signature. So this is my Ronin 4. I already did the signature,
Hmm.
and then I'm gonna do a ghostly, kind of like my Ronin 5 cover, ghostly splinter.
Yeah. Okay.
So and we'll see how it turns out.
That's awesome.
Uh, yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's a blast. I definitely enjoy doing what I'm doing, and yeah, I don't think I haven't worked with ever since I kind of broke into this industry. I haven't done any band work since. So I think comics is here to stay.
Okay.
So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Now,
Uh,
I know you kind of do, work with all the groups in that. Is there one, particular publisher that you tend to work with more, or you have more connections with, or are you just kind of whatever work you like, you approach now?
um, yeah, it's a good question. I think it's kind of yeah, it's like whatever comes my way typically, but I feel like I work a lot with Image.
Okay.
I do a lot of Image books. I feel like,
Well, there is a
which is
lot of
awesome.
image
You know,
books, so
yeah, and Image is just like huge. You know,
yeah.
so yeah, I would say I do a lot of Image, and then like Boom stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, off the top of my head, I feel like the past several books have just been all Image. So, and hopefully the goal is this year I really want to do, or excuse me, I really want to get approved with Marvel
Uh-huh.
because I've worked with every publisher except for Marvel. So
Who would
just waiting to get Marvel approved, and then yeah.
who would you like to work with on Marvel? Like, is there a particular character that's a dream character, or is there someone you're pushing towards right now because you just feel like you would fit into their storytelling right now, or are you just trying to get into Marvel in general?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm just trying to get into Marvel in general, but I do think that if I, you know, really had to pick something I could work on, I think either Spider-Man or Daredevil would
Hmm.
be a dream character for me.
I
So,
could see that too, especially Daredevil, the way you handle all your ninja stuff, and with him being, being so ninja
thanks, man.
associated. So
Yeah, the darker
Oh
tones
man,
and the shadowy. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
yeah, I'm all about like atmosphere and that ambiance and you know like mood, you know, and
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
so yeah, like with a lot of you know strong light and shadow and all that. So I think doing something like that would be super fun. So
Are you looking strictly just to do cover work? Like, are you looking to do interior stuff as well?
um, yeah, so that's a good question. A lot of people have asked me over the past couple of years that I've been doing this about doing interior work, but I don't know. I don't have as of now like any real you know draw to want to no pun
I
intended
was gonna say
draw
that.
to
Yeah, yeah.
to want to you know do interiors. I think maybe down the line it might be cool, but I think I've just been having so much fun doing cover work that it's just like I don't see myself really wanting to drift from that, you know. So, and another thing too is a lot of people don't know this, but and this is kind of getting into, you know, a whole other topic of conversation that we could go down, but
Okay.
the compensation for interiors is sometimes not the best,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and so a lot of these guys, from what I've heard, they, you know, they don't really enjoy doing the interior stuff just because it's just not lucrative, you know, like the pay is just not there.
Mhm.
Okay.
And with covers, it's like, you know, even with cover work, a lot of people struggle with getting paid like what they should be getting paid. And so I think a lot of guys just steer clear from that. And I think that, you know, when I was working with bands, it was kind of the same way. I never felt like I was getting paid what I should have been getting paid, and so I felt like going into interiors would be kind of going down that same road again, you know, of like
Sure.
kind of feeling taken advantage of, or that like it just, you know. And I think another part of it too is that since I do have a family, you know, and I, you know, married with kids and everything, it's like
Yeah.
I got to think about them and providing for them and everything. If it was just me and I was single, maybe I wouldn't mind as much, you know, and I'd take more of those risks, you know. But it's like because I have them, I can't really afford to go down these different roads of exploration into,
For sure.
you know, interiors and all that.
No,
But
I get you. And what
so
about creative own stuff? Do you have anything that's your own that you would like to start? No, obviously in your brain at some point, or are you working on anything right now? I don't know of your own type of stuff that you're gonna bring out on your own. Like, you know, that's what everybody wants to do nowadays, right? Have their own stuff, they own the properties and tell
yeah,
their own
yeah.
stories. So
I think that would be cool. Kind of like the same thing as the interior, yeah, the interior stuff. I think I've been enjoying doing covers so much that
okay,
I haven't even like considered or thought about doing my own, you know, which would be awesome. And I think too another part of it is just because um, maybe it's just self doubt or something, you know, or something I need to work through mentally. But I get kind of like intimidated, I guess, even thinking about doing my own stuff.
Definitely
Um,
daunting.
yeah, it's daunting for sure. And I think the reason it's daunting is because I want to stand out and I want to be different.
hmm
And so I guess I always think like, man, if I do my own IP, like what am I going to do that's going to stand out and be different than everything else out there? You know, I'm sure you guys have heard the
no,
saying,
I get you.
everything's
Yeah,
everything's been done that's under the sun,
sure,
you know,
sure.
like, and you know, it's very hard to have originality, you know, and have, you know, a world building and character building that's never been seen or really done before. Everyone's kind of ripping off each other in a sense, you know, like nothing's really like 100% original.
So true.
So I guess, yeah. So I guess just thinking about going into it, I'm like, man, like I just don't want to come out with something and then like I think it's almost an insult, you know, to think about. Like imagine doing a whole series and it comes out and then people are, you know, supportive, but then, you know, they're making comments like, oh man, like the world you built reminds me so much of
hmm
this or
Yeah,
this, or like, oh, this character, that character reminds me exactly of this. And it's like, man, I spent a lot of time to really
right.
create this world and these characters,
Hmm.
and all the viewers are seeing is like, oh, it just seems like basically a rip off of like these other characters that have already been done, you know. And so
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of part that is making me weary of wanting to do that, because like I feel like that would just be kind of an insult to all the hard work and dedication that you put into these, you know, this book that you created. So,
Hmm. For sure.
Well, I find too that, you know, some people just are better off sticking to what they're good at, right? Like you said, if you feel like you're not that strong in the creative writing department, no, stick to the drawing part where you are strong, right? Where you get some
yeah,
guys who are okay at the writing, like say a guy like Todd McFarlane, but no, his art is
Yeah,
obviously is what excels him, and when his book is really good is when other people are writing it. So again, I do
yeah,
understand what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think maybe down the road I'll consider it and dabble in it, but as of now I think I enjoy doing
sure,
everyone else's characters and stuff, and just I think that's what's fun for me too is the fact that when I'm doing these covers and stuff, even though like the variant game is huge, and everyone's doing variants. But I think what's fun for me is that I get to take, let's say Radiant Black, for example, the image book.
yeah, I do.
Like I get to take or do my own take on that character, and I think that's what I enjoy so much about doing the covers is like it's fun for me to see everyone's own take on who these characters are and the world that image created and stuff, and like it's fun for me to see like, oh, so they interpreted the character like other artists, they interpreted the character that way, and I interpreted it this way, and it's just fun, it's cool to see
Sure.
how everyone thinks and the way they design and all that, so but
What do you have coming out for new covers in the next little while, or do you have some stuff you can't talk about still?
yeah, it's like some stuff I can't talk about, but to be totally honest, I I because of like what happened with I don't know if you guys had seen I had an accident. I don't know if you guys have really followed me on social
Hmm.
media or
Yep,
whatever,
yep.
but yeah, so I broke my hip, in November, and so it really kind of set me back, and so I wasn't really doing like anything. I wasn't doing remarks for people's books. I
Well,
wasn't.
you didn't just break your hip. You busted your hip pelvis in like the worst way possible, from what I'm under.
Oh
Yeah, like
yeah, like it was like really like a pretty catastrophic injury.
yeah.
So yeah, it was like my hip was like not aligned, so they had to like fix that, and then my femur was shattered, so they had to fix that. So it was pretty bad. So I basically was like, people that had reached out to me for work, I was like, well, and they pretty much no one was like, for the most part, oh, can you do this cover? Everyone knew like, hey, I'm gonna be kind of down and out, um, so yeah, I wasn't really working for the past couple of months. So I didn't really have any a lot of stuff lined up. But it's amazing though, because already this year, now that I'm kind of not 100%, but I'm like almost getting back to 100%, and it's amazing how much I have lined up already. So a lot of I have some like indie stuff, like some like smaller title stuff I'm doing for people,
Uh-huh.
some more image stuff, and then well, actually, I can say this. So if we actually just announced this today, but if you I don't know if you guys are following me on
I do.
my fan page on Bartling Bunch. Yeah, so what we're doing is we're doing an exclusive, and it's only for the people in the group. And I can confirm I did a Radiant Red cover,
Yeah.
Hmm.
um, and so that's really exciting. That's something that me and the admins of the page have been talking about doing for a while, and it's really really exciting and cool to see it come to fruition, and and it's a way for us to just kind of say thank you to everything, all the support, and just love that everyone's shown, and so that's cool. So I can confirm that that's coming out. We'll be doing the official reveal next
That's
week,
cool.
and what's cool about it is uh, for that specific book, everyone that is in the group will have, first access or first dibs to, to the book. And then if it sells out, great. Hopefully it does. And it's only for the people in the group. But if it happens to maybe only sell half or a little bit more than half, then I think like a week or so after, we'll open it up to, everyone else, and then they can,
What's the print count on that? Do you know? Or
print count's 500.
nice, that's cool.
So we just cleared, as of today, I think we're at like 430,
Ooh.
I think, or 420 or something like that. So, so I, hopefully if we can get close to 500, that I think that'd be awesome. If everyone in the group bought one, like, and it sold out, that'd be freaking amazing. So
I think we might head over there afterwards and check it out. So
yeah, no, that'd be awesome. Yeah. So
are you going to be hitting cons this year, or with your hip and your families and COVID and all that stuff? Are you still trying to limit that a little bit, or?
Yeah. So honestly, I want to try to do as many cons as I can. I'm like super eager and excited to get back out there and do those. I think it's just a matter of like seeing, if there's books that I can work on with different retailers to make that happen. So just kind of playing it by ear, but like I want to try to for sure go to MegaCon. That's one I really want to attend again. And then
you gonna come north of the border and come see Canada, or what?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that, because I've actually had some people hit me up to come out. So I think that would be a blast for sure. I'd love to do that.
Awesome.
I would need to for sure get my passport updated.
See, I'm doing the same thing too. I'm getting my passport updated so I can hit the southern one. So
nice, that's awesome. Yeah, no, honestly, yeah, I'm all for it. I 100% down to try to go to as many as I can. I didn't really get to go to a lot last year.
Nobody did.
So yeah, it was just kind of like cons were just not really there, So so hopefully this year is different, and a lot more people come out, and it's kind of more back to how it was, So
that's awesome.
We shall see it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question, and I kind of throw a random question at everybody, but you have to clear your mind first, because it's kind of like what pops into your mind at first to answer. So
okay.
So, what's your favorite piece you've drawn ever, cover wise?
Ooh, and I can't look through all the ones.
Just pop into your head right now as soon as I said it. You're looking. I can tell just by hearing you.
I would say Ronin 5.
Awesome.
Ronin
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I thought of that one is just because
most recent.
It was the end. It was the climax. Like it was like everything. Everything was building towards that final one, and I honestly just had an absolute blast.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
the other
were
ones
lucky
were
enough to
super
do
fun
a cover
to work
for each of the Ronin books as well.
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't hear
you. You were lucky enough to actually end up doing a cover for each of the Ronin books as well.
Yeah. The only one that I missed was 3, which was kind of unfortunate, just because there's just some semantics with it just. Yeah, I'll just leave it as it didn't work.
Yeah, we're full aware of those kind of semantic things. But my favorite cover for yours was issue 1 actually of Last Ronin, where you have all 4 of the ghost turtles behind them, or sorry, all 3 of the ghost turtles. That one blew my mind. So.
I love the coloring of them with their the spectral, between 1 and 5. Just that coloring looks so cool. That color pops on the page. Thanks, man. Could you imagine if they did that like a glow in the dark? Oh, that would have been wicked.
Oh man, that'd be sweet. Yeah, I love using that hue, because it's so powerful and striking, especially on a when you have darker tones in the background. It just really pops. So it's a blast to use those, and it makes for it makes for excellent ghostly kind of coloring, you know, or figures, you know. It just like works good for it.
Sure.
So
So when you were making the cover for issue one there, and you know you had the three ghost turtles and you had the one last Ronin surviving, did you know who the last Ronin was at that point, which turtle, or did you just know it was one of the turtles? You didn't know it actually was Michelangelo.
yeah, I wait. It's Michelangelo? No.
Oh, you scared me for a second there. I'm like, oh my God, I should
I'm
do
all
it.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh, what? No, yeah, that's a good question, man. So, I was pretty much in the same boat as everyone else. They IDW and Nickelodeon kept everything insanely, you know, tight-lipped.
Okay.
Nothing was really talked about or revealed, and quite frankly, the only information or tidbits I really got was the ash can that was released to the general public, which I'm sure even you guys saw.
I have a copy of it, graded and signed by Mr. Eastman.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's super cool.
Thanks.
So yeah, so even you know that ash can that was released, that was pretty much all I had to go off of. Like I didn't have like, you know, it wasn't like these other books where they're sending me, you know, the
PDFs,
PDF
right?
and all this kind of stuff, you know, and I can you know take a look and be, you know, same thing, figure out who these characters are, all that. I didn't have that, so it was kind of just like, well, I knew there was something to do with. I think what really set it off for me and helped me come to the idea and the conclusion that I did was with the ash can. Do you remember in one of the panels that was released when he's walking through this like sludge kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and there's a talk like one of the talking boxes, and it says that they say like they're talking to him or something like, and I don't know if it's like, I think what did they say? Gosh, I'm trying to remember exactly what they said, but I think because of seeing that, I was like, okay, so maybe they're like ghosts or something, and they're following him,
Yeah.
you know, and they're kind of like watching over him or giving him advice or input or whatever. And so I think my idea for what I did really stemmed off of like that
And
kind of
I
specific
thought
theme.
something
So
like that too, but then after that Ashcan release, then they kind of recalled it. You know, they kind of said, "Oh, we don't like the reaction, and we want to change some of the artwork and that, right?" So then they kind of, you know, redid some of the story in that. So I thought they might have changed that too out of people's reactions, but luckily they didn't. So
yeah,
so that was good.
yeah, that was it. And I know IDW was going through like a ton of changes with like leadership and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like they got a completely new design team that actually had to rework a lot of the book.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, you know, they did what they did too, you know, just because all those changes and stuff.
Again,
So
politics, right? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
awesome. Well, we
So
don't want to take too much of your time because we do know you got other stuff to take care of, and we're just being greedy if we take too much. But
no, you guys are good. I'm
yeah,
having fun
uh,
chatting. So
why don't you give everybody all your details where they can reach you and all that stuff?
yeah, so the two main social media platforms I'm on is, well, actually, well, now Whatnot too, but Facebook, you can just search for Aaron Bartling, and you'll either see my fan page, like, which is the Bartling Bunch fan page, or you know, a lot of people just follow me on my like personal one.
Mm-hmm.
Which is almost in a sense like a fan page as well, because I don't post any of my personal life. It's basically just all art related, anyways.
Okay.
So yeah, you can follow me there, and then I'm also on Instagram. So Aaron Bartling Art is my handle for there. And then if you guys are on Whatnot, I'm going to be trying to have shows pretty frequently. I have another one I'll be doing next Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific Coast time.
Yeah, you did your
And
first one the other day, and you seem to really have a good reaction from what I saw when you're posting about it on Facebook and that. Did you find it easy in that to use? Because I signed us up for there yet, but I haven't really looked at it yet because I've been busy doing other stuff. But is it like overwhelming, or is it easy to use, or?
No, it's honestly like it's incredible. It is literally I have nothing but praise for it. It's such an amazing app. It excuse me. It takes so much of the stress and paperwork and all that stuff out of it. I mean, it's like when someone buys something, in the bid,
Yeah.
after the show's over, you just go into your live sales and what went on, and it has the weight on there. It has their name, their address, what they bought, how many items.
Mhm.
Everything is marked down for you, and literally it's as easy as, oh, okay, yeah, so they got that. Okay, throw everything in the Gemini or medium flat rate box or whatever, depending on how many books they got.
Sure.
And then if you have a thermal printer, print that bad boy out, slap it on the box,
Mhm.
done. Like it's literally a piece of cake. The app does literally everything for you.
So, and what are you
It's
selling on
just
there? Are you selling just no your cover work? Are you selling prints on there? Are you
yeah,
selling original work, or?
I'm selling like a lot of stuff, man. So for our first show we did, we sold a bunch of my covers. I still have a ton of inventory, but yeah, I tried to collect like almost every cover I've done. I didn't get them all because there's a lot, but I got a good amount. And then so I was offering like signatures, I was offering remarks, I was selling the books, and then I also had some cool stuff like when Ronin 1 first dropped. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a challenger coin, like a challenge coin that was like a collector's
Oh
item,
yeah, yeah.
and everyone got the coin with the book, and you could only get it if you got the number one.
Oh.
And I for the show I had two of those coins actually. Um, and so I ended up auctioning them, and it was just mind blowing because everyone was just going nuts and like eating them up. And
Like Bitcoin.
one of one of the coins, yeah, one of the coins actually sold for 270, almost $300.
Yeah,
Wow.
so like
So
Bitcoin.
yeah, like it was crazy. Like people were just like loving those, and like kept asking like, "Oh, do you have any more of the coins?" And I was like, "This is it, guys. Like I only have these couple, and once they're gone, that's it."
That was your
And
first
then yeah,
NFT.
say that
That
again.
was your first NFT.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I yeah, it was a blast. And then I was doing I had prints. I sold prints on there. And so yeah, it was a really really successful first show. Had a lot of fun. Definitely try to bring the energy, the charisma. I had my wife on there with me, so she was like a co-host, which was cool. And yeah, we just try to have fun with everyone, and like answer people's comments and all that.
That's cool.
And then yeah, and then my this next show that we're doing. Oh yeah, let me before I forget.
Yes.
So Whatnot, my handle for Whatnot is Bartbarian. So it's Bart, like my last name,
Yeah.
Bartling. So Bart, and then it's a takeoff of Barbarian. So
Yeah.
it's just Arian for the rest. So Bartbarian.
Okay.
But we'll be selling Good Boys for this next show. So
Nice.
if you guys, that's like a super hot title right now. So if you're trying to get one, I'll have metals, I have virgins, I have trades, I have chromes. So it's gonna be cool.
And what night
So
is that?
that'll be next Friday at 5 o'clock Pacific Coast time. So I'm not sure
That
for you Canadians. I'm not sure what
Okay,
time that
it's
would be.
that'll be 3 o'clock.
yeah.
Or sorry, 5 o'clock your time. That'll be 7 o'clock our time.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
sweet. Yep. So yeah, catch me there, and follow me on the socials, and be a lot more stuff to see you soon. So
That sounds cool. Yeah, I think we're definitely, like I said, we signed up for that that app, but we haven't tried it out yet, just because we're still trying to master all the other stuff first. So
yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, no, it's cool. Honestly, like I think you guys would love it, and I didn't know anything about the app, like totally new to it. And that's the thing too, is it's very user friendly and very easy to pick up and learn pretty quickly. So, it was, I had some hiccups for my first show. I'm not gonna lie. I had some things I didn't really know how to do, but it's all just trial and error and learning. And now, now that I learned what I needed to work on, like,
Sure.
now for the next shows, like I should be solid, so
The evolution.
yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So,
Well,
but
on that note, we'll sign off, and you stick around because we'll talk to you obviously once we sign off for a sec. But any last
cool.
words to the Nat Daddy group?
Well, thanks for coming on and listening to me ramble about the comic stuff, and I appreciate if you guys are already supporting me. Thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you guys. And I couldn't do what I do without you. So thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on as well too. So, all right, peace out, everybody. We'll see you soon.